Welcome back, America. We're here with Mr. Finance, and that is what I call Charles Payne because I always love to hear what he has to say because he's so right about so much. Charles Payne, nice to have you. My question is this, as you look at the economy right now and compared to what it was 10 months ago and so forth, what do you see?
I see, and it's going to sound cliche-ish, but there's more than one economy, just like there's more than one consumer. And I think we see that sort of bifurcation actually getting greater and greater. You know, obviously the stock market's done extraordinarily well. Gold's done well. Bitcoin's done well. Home prices have done well. But I'm really concerned about the lower end, small businesses, lower middle income housing, households, and that part, that exasperation, that sort of gulf between them actually seems to be getting larger, and that has me concerned.
I just did an analysis of the different states and so forth. Not to make it more complicated, but I think you could break it up even further.
You could.
The dark blue states are really doing quite poorly. The bright red states are really doing quite well in terms of affordability, not just on taxes, but that's certainly a big issue. But the way that these politicians run these cities, I mean, if you're going to run a city based on a radical left-wing ideology or even a liberal ideology, you're going to drive costs up. That's what I see in these states. And if you're going to run it more on a conservative and market-oriented viewpoint, you're going to be able to have stable prices and lower prices. And that's same with the youth. Youth still living with parents, what I found and what I've reported is that when you go to blue states, the vast majority or the biggest number of young people living with their parents are in blue states again. So don't we have that divide too? And shouldn't the Republicans do a better job explaining this?
Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Think about this last election, these last few elections we had, that affordability and energy. I mean, golly, the states with the highest energy costs, the highest electricity costs are those blue states you just talked about. No state does electricity cost more than California. All the regulations, they chased out fossil fuels. New Jersey, how could the Republican lose on energy prices? A Democrat was in office there. Soon as he got in, he shut down 5 power plants, including a nuclear power plant. We need all the nuclear power plants we can get to compete in the AI world. And to your point, whether it's housing, no matter what it is, no matter what the crucial areas are, and you're spot on with respect to young adults, they are suffering the most. You know, J.P. Morgan just built this $3 billion building in New York. I don't know what to call it because I'm not a fan of the architecture, but they just opened it up. And Jamie Dimon's already saying that they won't hire young workers there because it's too expensive. And essentially saying they're going to outsource that maybe to foreigners. So it's just nuts that these blue states and these blue cities have made life much more excruciatingly painful. Could you imagine a college grad voting for a socialist? They've made it so painful that the most unthinkable things are happening. In the meantime, the red states are flourishing. So politically, I don't get it. To your point, the messaging, someone in the GOP needs to just look at these numbers and articulate them.
And you know what else, Charles Payne? Parents and grandparents have a responsibility to educate their children and grandchildren about what's going on, too. We can't just rely on the government and politicians or we'll starve to death and we'll go without water. I think it's very, very important. And also, you can see the states that are depopulating. You can see the states that are populating. And I'm not talking about immigration or illegal immigration. I'm talking about American citizens. Is there a blue state that's gaining population that's not illegal aliens? I can't think of one where citizens are saying, you know what? I'm going to Illinois. No. You know what? I'm going to Rhode Island. You know what? I'm going to New York. You know what? I'm going to California. No, they're leaving all these places and they're heading to Republican states. No?
Yeah. They're leaving and businesses are leaving as well. And I got to tell you, you know, it's just one of these things where it's, for instance, my granddaughter's 13 years old. And a couple of years ago, I was taking her, I hung out with her on Saturdays and we're talking and I'm just really dismayed at what's going on in her school. I've got to find her a private school. So I found her a private school, but Mark, it's so liberal. And so I'm fighting this battle. I can't, listen, I have to talk to her a certain way to counteract what she's learning in school from the liberal side, but her education is through the roof. She's learning, educationally, and that's the problem for parents and grandparents, particularly in blue states. I live in a blue state. but I couldn't leave her in a public school because she would have not be able to compete in this world.
So in addition to the economics, which are terrible in these blue states and even worse in dark blue cities, security, civil liberties, education, all down the toilet, if the toilet works. You're in California, you don't even have enough water for the toilet to work.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.